says, when the woman saw the fruit of the tree was good for food and pleasure into the eyes, and also desirable for gaining wisdom, she took some and ate it. She also gave some to her husband, who was there with her, and he ate it. Now, why would Adam, knowing the command of God, go ahead and eat it? Now, think about this. He was the first Adam. Who was the second Adam? Christ, the second Adam. Okay? So, what happened is Adam... Now, remember, you've got to understand something. They were in the perfect form. Everything. They understood. Remember we talked about when Adam, you're the flesh and bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh. He understood more about the oneness and the marriage that God's put between a man and woman than anybody else. Nobody else understands like Adam did. He understood. He loved her more than anything. That's what God created her. In the same way, Christ loves his church. So Adam, this is just saying, no excuse for Adam. Adam probably went in and ate the fruit because, right, for her. Because he didn't want her just to fall by herself. He was willing to die with her. See what I'm saying? So even though he allowed her to do it, he went ahead knowing. See, she was deceived. Adam wasn't deceived. Adam knew this is going to happen if I eat of this tree. Why didn't he just say, I'm not going to do it, and just let her die for herself? He loved her so much that I'm willing to fall with you. Okay? You see what I'm saying? Now, in the same way, Christ became sin for us because of our sin. He was willing to become sin for us. Go to 2 Corinthians chapter 5:21. It says that Adam did it the wrong way and Christ did it the right way. Christ didn't break a command, Adam did. Do you kind of see what I'm saying here? Chapter 5, verse 21. Actually, in a certain verse 20. We are therefore Christ's ambassadors, as though God were making his appeal through us. We implore you on Christ's behalf, be reconciled to God. God made him who had no sin to be sin for us, though in him we might become the righteousness of God. So in the same way Adam sacrificed, even though it was Adam, there was no excuse for what Adam did, okay, and for allowing his wife to do, okay, he allowed it, okay, he shouldn't have allowed that, he should have stepped up, as authority of his home. He said, this is the commands of God. That's what he should have done. In that same way, since he loved her so much, knowing the consequence, way more than Eve, said, I'm going to go in the fall with you and die with you. That's how much he loved her. And Christ said, I love you so much. Me, God, perfectly holy, holy, holy. Okay? One of the Trinity of holy. I will come down and become sin for you. I love you so much. I will take that price. In the same way. The second Adam, you repeated what the first Adam did. The first Adam didn't know how to do it right. He brought the commands of God. God didn't break any command. And Christ became the second Adam. And he became sin for us. Just like Adam, would go for the fall for Adam. And for the rest of his life, he would fall with her because he loved her so much. Christ, for all eternity, became sin for us. And on all eternity, will sit in heaven with the scars on his hands for us. See what I'm saying? Also we have to know that Eve, Eve was our excuse. God gave Eve a way out, just like he gives us a way out. A way out. Go to 1 Corinthians chapter 13, 10. 1 Corinthians 10, 13. Actually, starting 12. So if you think you are standing firm, be careful that you do not fall. No temptation has seized you except what is common to man, and God is faithful. He will not let you be tempted beyond what you cannot bear. But when you are tempted, he will also provide a way out so that you can stand up under it. So God provided a way out for Eve, just like he provides a way out. We can never say that God did provide a way out. We can always, one thing you can run from any temptation. God gives us a way out. He doesn't allow a temptation, not a trial. I'm not talking about that. Because temptation can also translate to trial. Okay? There's trials that are beyond our ability, but temptations, as far as temptation, okay, God always gives us a way out. Go to James 4, 7 through 8. Finish up with that one. James chapter 4, verses 7 through 8. Submit yourself then to God. Resist the devil. Now, see, that's right there. See, isn't that funny? Right at the beginning. Now think about it. She knew God right there, and he's telling you the exact same thing for us. Submit yourself then to God. She could have submitted herself then to God. Okay? More so, even Adam. Okay? Resist the devil, and he will flee from you. Come near to God, and he will come near to you. Wash your hands, you sinners, and purify your hearts, you double-minded. I love that. Okay? So we have a way out by resisting the devil. And we see an example of that right there in Genesis. The devil is right there. Satan is right there as a serpent. As we see the serpent, the angel of life, he comes to us just like this, trying to deceive us. Do not get in the conversation. You know, when I hear these preachers talking about, and they're telling Satan what he's going to do, and I have authority, and they're la, la, la. Yeah, right? Did you ever see Jesus doing that? He just spoke the word of God to him. That's what he did. Don't get yourself in a conversation with Satan because you're going to lose every time. Christ himself spoke the word of God. He didn't get some long conversation, authority over you. I hear all this stuff, all this authority over you, and I'm kicking you, sweeping you out as if like, I'm so much mightier than you. Even Michael the archangel respected, who's saying we very respected only the word of God. Don't ever think you have anything over Satan, because we don't. Respect his power and resist him. The only way we resist him with the girl, do not allow him to get a foothold in your life. As soon as we get in a conversation, we saw that with Eve. She got in a conversation, and you know what's really funny? Just like Eve was deceived because she got in a conversation. Don't think we talk to Satan all day long. The exact same thing here is a shadow of everything to come. It's right there.
We converse with them.
We converse with them all day long. We converse with them when we watch TV. It's the same thing. Watch TV. I'm so familiar with that, right? And what does that do? It puts those thoughts in your heads, right? It's the exact same thing. Everything we do, we're conversing with Satan all day long. And it tells us only we resist the devil and draw near to God, and he will flee. It doesn't say he might. He will flee. Resist the devil, and he will flee. Draw near. So that's the only way we can resist. And that's exactly our way out. When he says to give us a way out, by drawing near to God. That's how we have a way out. God always gives us a way by drawing near to him. This is an easy thing to do. I'm not saying it's easy, but he does give us a way out. We are without no excuse, okay? God has given us the word. We have the word. Everybody in this room has the word. Don't let anybody, we talked about, remember we looked how we just talked about earlier about ministers and stuff, misuse the word. And the churches are full of people who think this is what the Word of God says, but they don't even look to know what the Word of God says. They don't even know what it says. They listen to a sermon and say, that sounds really, really neat. How do you know? How do you know what that man's supposed to use, what the Word of God says? He gave us, and everybody here is responsible for knowing what the Word of God says. Okay, we have to understand that. So don't be deceived. God gives us the Word of God. He gives us his Word. Eve didn't, like I said, the command wasn't given to her. Everyone in here has been given this Word. You're without excuse. So we can't say, I was deceived. God said, really? See? See what I'm talking about?